Today, we're going to take a look at some controversial allegations surrounding Gary Anderson games and how a controversial interview he gave potentially damaged the sport's integrity and led him to be heavily fined. Our story starts back with the 2011 World Championship final at Ali Pali, where both Adrian Lewis and Gary Anderson got to the final for the first time, and it was Lewis who came out on top, winning 7-5 in a great game where the Stoke ace managed to hit a famous 9-darter. That saw Adrian become world champion for the first time, and Gary miss out in a PDC major final for the second time. The players met for the first time since that final in week 6 of the 2011 Premier League, which was at the SECC Glasgow, meaning that Scot Gary Anderson was the clear home favourite. When the crowd are heavily supporting one player, they often make it clear by booing, the like of which caused the famous Gowan Price headphone moment. But on the 2011 Premier League night in Glasgow, the fans took it too far, throwing beer over Lewis when he was standing at the top of the walk-on ramp and when he was walking. We saw a similar incident involving Michael van Gerwen at the 2019 World Championship, but on that occasion he went to change his shirt, unlike Lewis, who only had a towel to wipe himself down. Things got even worse when the game got underway, as fans began to throw coins at Adrian. This happened at several occasions throughout the game, angering Anderson, who eventually went to pick one up. In terms of the game, Anderson went 3-0 up in the early stages, but he then lost 8 legs on the spin, losing 8-3 to Lewis. Both players averaged below 90 in the poor quality affair, which headlined the night. Following the game, Lewis called the crowd's behaviour awful and admitted that he nearly walked off of the stage at one point. PDC chairman Barry Hearn was given a report from his security advisors about the incident, which could have led Glasgow to be removed from the PDC calendar. Anderson admitted that the incident had led him to lose his concentration and said that he was embarrassed about the crowd. At one point during the match, it appeared as if Anderson deliberately threw very quickly at double top, which he missed to give Lewis the leg after he was hit by a coin. Commentators felt that Ando deliberately missed. Then, nearly 5 years later, ahead of the 2016 World Championship, which Gary went into as the defending champion, a BBC Scotland reporter asked him if he'd intentionally lost, to which he replied, yes. Anderson said that he didn't want to win a game where that happened, and that he thought it was a disgrace. Whilst many fans felt there was a nice move from Gary, he was accused of admitting to throwing and fixing a game, something very frowned upon that players have been banned for in the past. Gary quickly released a Twitter statement in response. It read as follows: I didn't answer that question as I meant to. I would never intentionally lose a match, nor step on the jockey and give anything other than my best, but that night I thought the crowd behaviour was so disgraceful I lost all my motivation to win and was completely unable to concentrate. It wasn't a question of not wanting to win, I just found myself without the ability to do so because I felt so ashamed of what was happening. I could not focus at all on playing and my game fell apart. The PDC also responded with the following: although we can see how Gary's comments may have been misconstrued, we have confidence in the integrity of Gary and all of our players, and we would not want to slip in an interview to undermine this. When the 2015 DRA case list came out, it was revealed that Gary was given a £3,000 fine for the comments made in the BBC interview, which were a breach of DRA Rule 3.1, which reads, no person bound by the DRA rules should make or cause to be made any statement or commit or cause to be committed any act which, in the reasonable view of the DRA, is likely to bring into disrepute the sport of darts. Therefore, it's clear that Anderson wasn't charged with match fixing, instead only with potentially damaging the reputation of darts, which consistently rates as one of Britain's sports with the highest integrity. His £3,000 fine was very different to the huge 8-year ban given to Carl McKinstry, who fixed the game in an online lockdown event and failed to provide his phone bill to the investigation. In terms of darts in Glasgow, the Premier League night eventually moved to a new Glasgow venue, the Hydro, where the Scottish fans had been much better behaved. Just a few years before that controversial Glasgow game took place, Anderson was also accused of match fixing at the 2008 Grand Slam, where he was in a group with Daryl Fitton, Paul Nicholson and Kevin Painter. Heading into the third and final fixtures of the group stage, Anderson was second in the group. His final game was against Fitton, who was top and a good friend, and if Anderson was to win 5-3 or better, both players would automatically qualify, eliminating both Nicholson and Whitlock before they played their final game. Both Anderson and Fitton were BDO qualifiers that year. Anderson went on to win 5-4, meaning that Nicholson had to whitewash Whitlock, which didn't happen, meaning that both Fitton and Anderson went through. In the deciding leg of the Anderson-Fitton game, the commentators stated that it would be an old pals act, and that, as cynic would say, Anderson was given the opportunity to win. Suspicions were heightened when Fitton gave a TV interview where it appeared as if he was saying that he did not put in maximum effort in every leg. The PDC eventually released a statement stating that they'd received complaints about the game and that they'd been forwarded on to the DRA for investigating. The DRA later released a statement stating that there was no evidence of player collusion or gambling, but reminded players to be careful what they said in interviews and to ensure maximum effort in each and every leg. Now let's take a look at a controversial incident that followed another Lewis Anderson Premier League clash where Adrian again heavily beat Gary, this time in Rotterdam in 2016. That game took place on the final night of the regular league phase and saw Lewis qualify for the playoffs in 4th place, just ahead of Peter Wright, who missed out. Following the match, Twitter DMs were leaked sent from Peter Wright's account to a fan. A message, allegedly sent by Wright's wife and manager Joanne, read, "You're just trying to be a big man because you think I won't be in the final. Well, we all know that Gary will be giving Lewis a position next week, don't we? Quite a nice bet again this year, as in Lewis given the 1 point he needs to get to the playoffs." These comments angered Lewis, who tweeted the following, aimed at Joanne. "You're an absolute disgrace. It's not Peter, as he told me firsthand he doesn't use Twitter. You're one horrible woman. I'm never malicious towards anyone, apart from yourself. I really hope the DRA take this seriously. Nobody in darts I know of would ever throw a game. We all practice hard to win." The incident led PDPA board members Peter Manley and Alan Warren a little to send out an email to players reminding them to avoid unprofessional conduct on social media. After that email was sent, Adrian tweeted out again, this time tagging the PDPA, saying that he hoped the email all the players received was referring to Wright using the hashtag silly comments. Joanne's response was that the comments had been taken out of context and contained no accusations, instead being sarcastic private messages. The incident led to a big fallout between Joe, Adrian and a member of Gary Anderson's management team shortly before Wright and Anderson were supposed to play together for Scotland at the 2016 World Cup. However, the drama led Wright to withdraw from the event, giving his spot to Robert Thornton. Thanks for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave a comment letting me know what you think about these incidents in the comment section down below. Also, hit the bell icon to turn on notifications so that you don't miss any of my brand new videos.